Last night I got a DM from Broly Legs, and he told me he was doing replay reviews, and he asked for my CFN, so I sent it on over, and I opened up the stream. And what followed was 30 to 45 minutes of just genuinely good advice that was tailored to me, but also pertains to everybody at large. And I'm sure we'll talk about some of those points specifically in the future, but there's one theme that ran throughout the entire stream and throughout everything that Broly said that really reminded me what it is I need to do here and what it is we all kind of need to do in order to get better. Hey, before we move on and get into the gameplay and everything, I'm trying to hit 10,000 subs by the end of the year. I don't know if it's possible or if it's even a reasonable goal, but if you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, and thank you so much for watching. What I think you have to understand, and especially if you've never had somebody coach you or take a look at your replays for you, is that when somebody does do that, when they are coaching you or they're watching you play, they're able to see things from a different perspective, and they're able to pick up on habits that you don't even realize you have and tell you that you're doing things that you don't even realize you're doing. And in Broly's case, he does it very quickly. That's why he's so good at coaching. Within just 2 sets, he watched 2 of my sets. I have an entire list of things I wrote down to work on, and what this really made me realize is, one, there's so much more for me to learn, but most critically, I need to be playing with a purpose again, with a goal in mind, and a goal of trying to fix these specific issues. I guess they weren't as cut and dry to me what those issues were until Broly just pointed them out. Clear as day, I just couldn't see them. Some because they were pretty nuanced and pretty ambiguous, you know, like one of the big things that he pointed out was that I feel the need to do something too much, and I do a lot of dashing and charging in when I get desperate. But other things were very obvious, like doing the same meaties over and over again, or just not even paying attention to what they were doing after blocking my meaty. There's a very specific sequence that Broly broke down where I did dash up, crouch medium punch, tick throw, then I did another dash up, crouch medium punch, and tried to tick throw again, and my opponent woke up with a button, obviously, because he knew I was going for a throw. And Broly said, "Why didn't you just do something different? Why didn't you just do another crouch medium punch? You already did the throw." He's looking for the throw again. You don't really lose anything by going for the second medium punch, and it's much more likely to hit than another tick throw. Things like that just kind of fall by the wayside as you're learning all this other deep stuff, you know? I guess somewhere along the way I kind of just forgot the very basics. But that's something very basic that I can just add back into my game. And I can make that my purpose when I knock someone down. I can identify that I've gotten a knockdown and tell myself, one, I need a plan. You know, what am I going to do while he's knocked down? And what am I going to do if I get another knockdown? That's the goal. You've added structure back into your game. It's that easy. You just need somebody to tell you that sometimes, or remind you of it, I guess. I kind of want to talk a little bit more about that big problem that you saw in my game where I said I felt the need to do something too much because it just happened a lot. You know, I was dashing into a lot of pokes. I was doing a lot of random dive kicks. I was just trying to get in by any means necessary because I feel like that's what the character calls for, being a hyper rushdown character. And I told that to Broly, and he said no character in the game is played like that. Not even Balrog is constantly rushing in. And he said you just need to chill and play neutral and get a knockdown, and then you can run your offense. When you get that knockdown, you're just looking for a crouch medium kick to get that knockdown, or like a stand heavy punch to whip punish and get that knockdown. That's your goal, is to get a knockdown, not to get in. And he said that you just need to grind the matchup out. And I'd never heard that kind of term before, but he said it in relation to Luke, because I was having a lot of trouble in the match that you're watching in the background right now. And I kind of took that as there's no shortcut to winning against these characters, especially Luke, but everybody. You know, I'm kind of at that level where there's not I can't just gimmick people out, you know. I can't just EX dive kick in. We're playing neutral again, which is something we were very focused on you know, over the past months. But as I was playing a lot more ranked, I realized that most people aren't going to play neutral with me in platinum or anything like that, so it's about kind of just getting in and mauling them. But now we are playing neutral again, and we've got to remind ourselves of that. But we also need to remember that when we say play neutral and kind of chill out a little bit, that doesn't mean just sitting around and waiting for the opponent to do something, or sitting around and waiting in a specific spot for a specific thing to occur. You've got to move around, respace yourself, space yourself around certain buttons, make things whiff. There's a lot of movement involved, and it's not just taking up this certain part of the screen to look for this certain thing to happen. I guess this whole time my idea of what a rushdown character is really supposed to do was distorted and a little bit warped. I now understand it as, once we get the knockdown, and once we've established that we have an advantage, then we're a rushdown character. Then we can use our tools and our offense. But until then, you've got to play the neutral. As much as everybody memes on Street Fighter V and says it killed neutral and all this stupid shit, there's still, some science to it. And there's still some neutral to be played. And so from here on out, I just need to play with a goal in mind. And I really, really need to stop trying to make things happen when I don't really need to. I even bolded it in my notes. I wrote in all capitals and bolded, your need to make something happen is your downfall. That's what Broly said, word for word, bar for bar. That's what he said is stopping me from winning more games and just playing better in general. And so the more obvious stuff, like we talked about, mixing up the meaties and mixing up our options, will happen because there's something that I can tangibly do and see myself do. And so when I get a knockdown, I can think about that. I know the situation in which I need to think about that. What's going to be harder is restraining myself from just going ham when I get frustrated. That's what's going to kind of make or break me at this point, and what's, I guess, ultimately stopped my growth up to this point. Now that I know and it's been brought to my attention, I think we can press on, press forward, and get better again. Or start getting better again, I guess is a better way to put it. But I think that's everything here on the list that I can give you that will help everybody. A lot of this other stuff is pretty specific to me. So I'm going to let you guys go for today. If you enjoyed this video, if it helped you in any way, please consider subscribing. And I'll talk to you again very soon. Thanks so much for watching.